What's good? We back. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic, and we just so happen to hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everybody that's feeling the movement and gonna continue to grow and continue to get consistent boxing coverage and other coverage as well. We gonna get y'all all across the board. We moving, and you can follow us on Facebook as well at the Boxing Clinic and more. Same way it is on YouTube. And according to Ring TV, which is basically owned by Golden Boy, Ring Magazine. Errol Spence was offered the Miguel Cotto fight. Before I get into that, a few other guys that we already talked about, like Danny Garcia, and a few other guys that was offered to fight the Miguel Cotto's farewell fight in Madison Square Garden. Lamont Peterson turned it down. Of course, we talked about Danny Garcia. Mikey Garcia turned it down. Jesse Vargas turned it down. Or James Kirkland, I guess, turned it down or wasn't able to reach an agreement to. And the reason that Mikey Garcia turned it down is because Golden Boy wanted to sign him to a long-term contract. They wanted options on him. Mikey Garcia already been on record, said he liked being a free agent. He didn't want to be tied down and not be able to fight, certain people. So he wants to be a free agent and just be advised/managed by Al Heyman and be able to go where he wants to go, fight on HBO, Showtime, wherever he wants to go. So with Golden Boy, it wasn't going to work like that with him. He didn't want to be tied to a promoter right now. He's just fine being managed and advised by Al Heyman, which is cool. He being, Al Heyman and Oscar went through that little lawsuit thing, even though I heard they embraced at the Canelo Chavez Jr. thing, still not going to be business partners, Oscar's still trying to, sue Al Heyman. He's trying to do an appeal, which is probably going to be unsuccessful. So it's no real reason why Errol Spence turned him down, but I'm guessing right here, I'm going to leave the article in the description. I'm guessing the reason Errol Spence turned him down is the same reason as Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence is a promotional free agent that likes to be managed and just managed/advised by Al Heyman. And that's what he likes to do. Oscar De La Hoya's been on record saying he would love to promote Errol Spence. Thought Errol Spence was a big time talent, and said that's what he wants to be managed. He wants to manage him. He wants to promote him. And I guess they tried to offer him the same deal they did Mikey Garcia, which would have been a $2 million payday versus Miguel Cotto, and a long-term deal or options on him in the next few fights. And it just didn't fly. It just didn't fly with Errol Spence. Al Heyman probably told him to turn him down. We know how it ended with Golden Boy, Richard Schaefer, and Al Heyman. Now Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer is working together. Ringstar Sports, which is owned by Richard Schaefer, it's got some of the best up-and-coming young talent in the world. And then they're the head of the World Boxing Super Series tournament over there with another UK promoter as well. So a lot of people just don't look at it like, oh, Errol Spence ducked Miguel Cotto. Absolutely not. This is a big fight that Errol Spence could have took, but you don't want to give up your services, and have somebody else design what you do in the future. You don't want to give up options. Golden Boy was clearly trying to use Miguel Cotto as leverage to guys to give them option on guys, And I guess with the same thing with Mikey Garcia, the same thing with Errol Spence, he didn't want to let them have options on him. And that's the only thing I could think of. The reason Errol Spence didn't take this fight, because this fight is bigger than Lamont Peterson fight, and also Lamont Peterson was offered a fight, even though him and Errol Spence are going to fight each other. I think the Errol Spence versus Cotto fight could have opened up a lot of eyes for Errol Spence. It would have been a good fight. I don't think he would have had any issues moving up to 154, but maybe that's another issue why he didn't want to move up to 154 and then try to squeeze back to 147. Most guys that go up don't like coming back down, especially when they're as big as Errol Spence, who likes to walk around probably 170 plus, 160 plus. He said he was like 160 right in between fights a couple months ago. So I understand that. So maybe he didn't want to come all the way up to 154 and fight Miguel Cotto, but I think it's more the Golden Boy wanted options. They was using Miguel Cotto as leverage to get other fighters to sign on a dotted line, so they have another big star to promote. Mikey Garcia wasn't going for it. Apparently, Errol Spence wasn't going for it. Lamont Peterson. None of those guys wanted to be on the Golden Boy banner. And we know that other people have been detailing that Golden Boy was racist. They was using the N-word around their office loosely. They called some of their writers or people they was freelancing, employing the freelance for them, whatever you want to say, was calling Al Heyman the Black Hitler. You think those guys doesn't hear those things? Heard Nate Campbell, I believe, say that Golden Boy was racist and mistreated their black fighters and treated them different from their Hispanic fighters. You heard Eric Hunter be on record saying that as well. The nice slick boxer from Philly who lost to Lee Selby. So you think these guys don't hear those things, how they promote Hispanic fighters different ways? as far as Errol Spence and Lamont Peterson and James Kirkland, of course you don't want to sign with people who don't have your best interest at hand or your people's best interest at hand. So that could have been another thing that playing there as well. So, this would have been a cracking fight to see. I think this would have been a fight that could have catapulted Errol Spence into, a different popularity stratosphere. But he got business to handle at 147, so it is what it is. We gone.